I'm back again. I thought this time I'd do a bit of a draw along, so you guys can. I suppose it is a tutorial, but it'll probably be longer than usual. So word of warning. Just setting up my canvas, 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. Gives me lots of room, obviously. So I thought I would work on yet another silhouette, but something more complex. And I've always kind of liked the look of artillery, World War II artillery. So I thought I'd try and do something like that. And then obviously I'll submit it for stock art on various places. Although the technique I actually kind of want to show you guys today is greeblies, which is obviously a technique that's used in 3D, and I think that it was coined by George Lucas when they were doing the model ships. They would add these greeblies, inverted commas, which were little bits of Airfix models of God knows what, and they would put them on the Millennium Falcon and etc. because to give them extra detail. So yeah, the term has kind of been kept. So I want to do something similar to my silhouettes, and if you do manage to check out the entire tutorial and don't drop dead of boredom, I'll show you what I mean. So as I said, I'm not trying to do anything accurate. I don't know much about artillery. I just like the look of it. So this is just going to be something out of my head. Now, I've got about 3 or 4 pictures off the internet. Just typed in, artillery, World War II artillery. So that'll give me some reference to work from. But everything I do will just be pretty much out of my own head. But yet I'll have several bits of reference that I can use just to help me make it even look more detailed and accurate. So that's on my other screen. I'm not sure I can show you those because I think YouTube they can be a bit picky about reference images, but it'll be done, as I said, off the top of my head. So in creating some kind of artillery gun, I'll probably use my favorite rectangle tool. And as it's a silhouette, we'll just go to black. Now, one thing we could certainly, like I'm going to have the gun angled for the artillery unit, but and while I could of course start here and do it at a particular angle, I would find it difficult to work from. So I would have to, if I wanted to put on, say, the end of the gun, I would have to do this. I would have to then do this, make sure it's matched. Now you can do that, like you can come over here and put in your exact degree and stuff, but I tend to work everything by eye. I'm lazy that way. I'm just like an artist, if you will. I don't get too stuck in the minutia of mathematics. I'm just too lazy. So yeah, I can start coming in here, and then if I want to do extra bits or whatever, I can do this. You can see this is slightly off. And anytime I want to put something up here, I'll have to, it won't be perfect. So what I like to do, let's Control Z all that. And should I just start it from, I will work from a horizontal position because everything is a lot easier just to move along. I'll start with something very basic. I'll do the artillery tube first. And of course, depending on how powerful you want it to look, we can thicken it up. And let's try there for the moment. So I'm going to like duplicate this. I'm holding down Shift and Option, and I'm going to hold down Command here so I can get an even shrink. And I'm just going to put that about here, just to give this lower tube a bit of thickness. Yeah, so we have something like this. And I know this is perfectly accurate because I've held down Shift and it will keep on the same horizontal plane as this one. So, which is always handy. Right, I think I'm going to convert these to curves because I will be wanting to go in. And I think with my snaps on, as you can see up here, I will get the middle of that easy enough. And I'm going to hold down Shift as well. And I'm just going to give that a slight bend just so it looks less attached, so it looks more like welded or attached, if you will, as opposed to just like kind of horizontal, right angles. Now, so I'll take another little shape here, again using the square tool, and I'm going to start making what I would call greeblies, and I'm going to start using them in various places to add extra details. Again, I'm not trying to be accurate. I'm just putting in little bits that just add extra detail. Again, I don't know anything about artillery pieces, so let's just make it up as we go along and see if it looks right. Hide that. Okay, so, and again, we can, if we think that might look better down below, we can simply shift and nudge our little greebly down here a bit. Probably fix that just so it's, yep, so we have our, the formation of our little greeblies, and we'll do the same thing with just like Shift and Option and do another one here. Something like that. Maybe we'll make it bigger this time. Incidentally, I did a tank like this a few years ago, and I just added lots of little bits, and I tried to upload it to several stock sites, and they said that I that I traced it, which I hadn't. But it just, again, you're just making stuff look more complex than it actually is. I mean, there's no real rules either. You can keep adding whatever you like. Make it even more complex. And if anyone wants to know how I did that, I just will use this here. I took a shape and I held it down and duplicated it. Option and Shift, and without doing anything else, I use the Smart Duplicate, and that, which is, sorry, Command J, and you can do that as many times as you like, and that will basically give you, Affinity will automatically keep the distance for you, which is fairly handy. Okay, so I think I'm going to do another tube up here, because a lot of these kind of World War II guns seem to have another tube of some kind. A shorter one. Yeah, something like this. And we'll link it now, so we'll nick these, and we'll just use these to kind of give it the impression that something it's bolted on to our structure. Let's go down as far as we can. Yeah. Again, I'm just kind of trying out different random stuff. I'm not mad on all this stuff here, so I'm going to get rid of that for now. Also going to bring this in a bit. I think I'll make that smaller as well, just for variation. And I will try and bring this as close as I can to the structure without, I have to zoom in. Yeah. And there usually is some kind of sight going on. Oh, at least I presume it's a sight. And we'll just keep duplicating bits. I do apologize for any strange noises, because that would be my strange cat who snores. Let's take a chunk out of this just for something different. So I'll create another piece here. I'm going to just color it differently so you guys can see it. I'm just going to take a random chunk out here. Select these two, Boolean, and we're left with that. Just gives it that bit of extra detail. I might bring that down a bit. I'm just going to maybe even make it thinner. Probably do another one of these, another kind of attachment of, and maybe make it like this. Get another one, do it twice. Yeah, we're starting to get somewhere really now. I'll bring this down again and make it, could even attach it to that. Bring a piece in there, put it in the middle. We could even just get another square and, oops, something like that. Something similar here, make it smaller. Do that smart, yeah, that smart pick there. Yeah, okay, yeah. Checking my reference again, because there does seem to be a kind of a heavier bit where you load in the breech, or where you load in your shell. Let's make this a little bit different, because away from the squares. So we could get our knife tool, using the K there, and I'm just going to hold down Shift to give me a kind of a 45-degree angle, and then just remove that. I think I'll do the same actually, and I'm just gonna cut out a slice by eye, and we'll get this. Oh, it's a bit of an accident, but it's left me more detail. Go in here and move these nodes a bit. So, but I don't mind that actually. Do this. make another piece there. I think we'll make this a little bit smaller just to give it make it less heavy. Yeah, and I think we'll do the same here. It kind of just brings it more in line with the rest of the structure, I think. I think we'll have another one of these. Yeah, so, okay. And yeah, there's some of them seem to have some kind of a vent on the top. I'll work on that maybe a bit later. Not a bit bigger for the site. Let's change the angle of some of these. And maybe the width. Going to bring two little pieces up like that, so it just looks like this extra detail coming out of that, and we could copy them down. Yeah. Again, it's a lot of like trial and error as well. But so far I'm kind of relatively happy with that. But really you could kind of go to town on these. There's no kind of, your only limit is your imagination, as the cliche goes. Some also seem to have another kind of pipe here, so I'll do that as well. Add another pipe. I'm just obviously took this part. I'll make it slimmer and longer, but it adds kind of a good bit of depth to the gun as well. And we want to make sure it attaches in a similar way. We can actually just use this, another one of these, to attach them down. I think I'll use this as well. And maybe this. No, not that one. Just looks a bit weird. Yeah, so I guess we'll need one here as well. This is a bit too thick. Right, so we have our kind of, I'd say our main outline kind of done. Although this thing, yeah, maybe something like that might be. Just to kind of finish it off a bit, make it look more kind of bolted together. Right, yeah, so let's just try, let's have a look at some of the basic shapes, and maybe we'll try Well, we'll try trapezoid. Yeah, trapezoids, that's kind of not too bad. Would it be worth joining? Yeah, okay, we'll give that a go for now. We can come back to it, but let's leave this for now. Of course, I'm going to scale everything down, which will give us more room to play with. I could even take this now and we're probably getting too big here, but it doesn't matter. We can keep that there. And now our rather large, strange looking piece of artillery. Yeah, I mean, I could even, if I thought it was a bit too thin, I could even just do that, stretch everything. Yeah, okay, I think I'm happy enough with that for the moment. But let's look at some kind of vent. And I'm going to start in a vertical. I usually like to draw either horizontally or vertically, just especially with basic shapes, because as I said earlier, they're easier to kind of manipulate. So start with a trapezoid, and then I'm going to take just a square and band them together. Let's join them using a Boolean add up here. Oh, now they're one shape. I'm going to take another square here. And as you can see that I have as I said, I have my snaps on, so things are easy for me to kind of snap around. If I didn't have my snaps on and I was trying to line this up, I would probably have to go up here and use the align tool, select everything, go to my align tool up here, and then align center, and we'd have that. Yeah, so that's why I kind of tend to use the snapping quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to make this one shape using the Boolean operation up here. I'm doing that so it's easy for me to change the length of it. Oops. Hang on. Yeah. I'm going to smooth the corners here because they look very a bit too sharp for my liking. And I'll start doing it down here as well. So yeah, something like that for now. Oh, again, these are too sharp, and I'd like it to have the impression of it being welded rather than just slapped together, like shapes slapped together, because it would be more organic. So I'm just using my corner tool. Yeah, that looks quite nice and smooth, as opposed to, I mean, we can do the same with all this stuff, but from a distance it would probably look quite like that anyway. But I kind of want this part to be so. This is something I wanted to talk to you guys about as well. The reason why I'm so adamant about baking the corners in, so it's great now I have access to my corners up here, as you can see. So I could come in and I can change them at any, I can hit the corner tool and I can change them, the width, right? And that's great, but let's say I wanted to, if I ever have to scale this object now, look what happens. It's gone weird. You can see that the corners have kind of lost their shape. It looks like a milk bottle now. So if I just Control Z that. So if I will then convert everything to curves. So all these curves that were baked in or all the curves that were there are no longer selectable, but they're all nicely baked in. And of course, if I select this and make it tiny, you'll see that it is scaled perfectly. So that's why I'm very adamant about scaling objects while leaving like corners, etc., still available. I think you're better off baking them in. Okay, so let's get another square. I'm gonna color this square just so you can see it better. And we'll do something a bit like this maybe. I'm going to select these two. I'm going to do the Boolean operation, subtract. I'm going to go into the shape here, select these 4 nodes, hit C to give me the corner tool, and just to give me that kind of shape. And then I'm going to get another square tool, but make it rectangle. I'm going to add it. And the good thing, once you add something to a shape, it automatically will break the shape down. So I'm now going to go back in. I'm going to do the corner trick again, just to give it that nice kind of slightly rounded look. And then there's usually another, okay, no, we'll leave that as is. Maybe we'll just do, we'll get the trapezoid tool for no reason, and we'll do a little vent up here. Boolean that, subtract, go in again, do the corner, so it smooths everything out. And now we have something like this. We'll make it a shape, convert to curves. I'll select these and I'll just move them out a bit. And now what we'll do is we'll take our piece, holding shift, that'll give me a kind of a stepped rotation. And I will now scale it to fit our artillery gun. And what I'm not doing is, there's a seam here. We don't want that. We never want this kind of white seam that you can see. It's hard to see, but it is there. Now I can join this, but I may alter this shape later on. I don't know. So I'm just going to nudge it over 1. So now you can see that the seam is completely hidden. So just be wary of that. I think this is too big now. So I'm going to, yeah. But now I've kind of lost let's go to the rectangle tool. I kind of wanted a slightly larger end piece. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Oh, better save this. We'll just call it art for artillery. Now, so there's the kind of near enough the main gun done. I think perhaps at a point here, and we'll do the same just to give it that slight angle. Yeah, I think we'll get another little piece. Just bring it out a tiny bit. Now, yeah, duplicate it again. 2 there, and then maybe 1 here. And there, for all intents and purposes, our gun is nearly done. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to group that for the moment. So Command G. So it's easy to select. And what we need to do now is figure out the rest of our artillery piece. So, yeah. So we can take some kind of wheel, circle, obviously, shape. I'm just going to roughly scale it. So scale-wise, if you wanted it, if you wanted to be a very big-looking piece of artillery, you could have a small wheel. The bigger it is, the artillery will look a bit smaller. So I'm just duplicating this for now because I want to try and see. It would be something like this. Now, looking at this here, I feel I've made it very complex. And I don't think it's going to work as a piece of movable artillery. It just looks too complex, in my opinion. It looks like some kind of railgun or static artillery. So I'm going to abandon the original idea, and I'm going to make it on some kind of tripod instead. So I'm going to keep this here for now, a spare copy over here, just in case while I work on this. So we'll need something here to join. And I tell you, I think I'm actually going to just start working on this. Maybe it's some kind of air artillery stuff. It's a highly technical term, not air artillery stuff. Kind of going off piste here a little bit because I don't have any references for ground artillery or non-move static artillery. So we'll just see what happens. Right, so there would be, of course, some kind of elevation system. I'm going to make that a convert to curves. I'm going to bow this out. I've kind of, yeah, it's kind of gone a bit skew-if now, but I don't really mind because I'm not, as I said, I'm not looking for total accuracy here. I'm going to go into the knife tool. I'm just going to cut this bit off. Don't want to see that. And I'm going to cut some of it up here off as well. Using, right. Just going to duplicate that so it's given me a second piece. Yeah, so we need some more detail, I think, here, really, to try and, because it looks now very boxy. Let's convert that to curves. Let's get the knife tool. Sorry, I'm trying to get the knife tool. And we'll just chop that bit off. for the moment. I just feel it needs now to be, the detail needs to be built up here, because it looks very different style from our other piece, or our top piece, I should say. And again, I'm just trying random ideas here, seeing what's happened, and see what happens. Just kind of making it like as if there's some kind of girder system there, so like I need like one of those old iron bridges. But I will make these thinner again. Again, it doesn't. We're not trying to make a piece that actually works. We're just trying to make a piece that kind of looks like it could work for a piece of art. Now, yeah. So let's make it look a bit sturdier down here. Like that, there's some kind of like legs that are kind of bolted in. And we'll just add this to stop it looking so sheer. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So as you can see, I'm just like trying different ideas at the moment. Some stuff will work, some won't. Just use our special J thing again, our J trick. Command J by Affinity should keep the increment. Now, as I said, I tend to like working in planes of horizontal and vertical. I'm not really doing that now, so things are kind of, but I don't really care because we're just messing around. But generally it's easier if you can work with those, because you don't have to like you don't have to keep making sure everything is perfect. But at the same time, I don't mind if things are a little bit that things are a little bit off or aren't perfect. I think now looking at it, this base part needs to be bigger. So I'll just select all of these. And I'm just going to separate it for a second to see. I often do that if I have to select a lot of objects and I can't select everything because something else is in the way. I'll kind of select stuff, Command X, and what's left I'll know that I haven't selected something. Just a little tip. I find it very easy to work with. That's okay. So now this is that too big? Let's group this anyway, and we can kind of, yeah, I think that's too big now. So we'll look at a distance. Yeah, no, I think this is just too thick at the moment. trying to find a position I'm kind of happy with. I'll leave it there for now anyway. Okay. And I like the bit of negative space here, but I think we will fill it up slightly. Yeah. This now looks like, to me anyway, that a kind of an actual kind of gun turret with like someone like below here. Yeah, so it looks kind of too big now, but it's just kind of, I don't mind. You know, it's just kind of, we're just kind of experimenting. I do want this. This is kind of annoying me, so I want that bit taken off. And again, we could easily put in some extra details, some extra negative space if we thought we liked the look of it. Let's create something like this. And we'll make it 1. And I'll just gonna and we'll shave it off here. I prefer to put that in. But, you know, you get the idea if you want more details. Again, let's start adding some greeblies to make it look a lot more complex. And again, you don't have to be you don't have to be totally perfect with the angles. Like you can see that this it isn't bang on, but that's okay. And again, I'm going to use some kind of negative greeblies. I always pronounce them Boolean that. I always pronounce them greebles, but apparently that is wrong. They're greeblies, allegedly. So a bit of negative space. I mean, literally, you can kind of pop them anywhere, really. You can select everything and just make them black. Take another one. I mean, you can use them as, you could make little bolts. Leave some negative space there and just kind of go. Yeah, that's something you could do. Make it slightly angled down, I think. Let's just duplicate that so it's exactly the same. Make everything smaller. These look pretty heavy now, just So I'm going to try and design some kind of foot. So let's take these, design some kind of foot. Let's give it a bit of thickness. Get some extra detail up here, I think. Now I'm eyeballing it. I could, you know, I'm sure there's a slight difference there in the distance, but if we wanted, we could, you know, match it up exactly. But again, I think for all intents and purposes, you know, eyeballing should be fine. And again, I'm doing very purposefully. I'm not leaving any gaps here, so there's going to be no white line at all. Let's try this kind of torus thing. Yeah, it's roughly right. And by adding more greeblies, it kind of makes it look even more complex, and it changes the scale as well, because the more detailed, generally the larger the object would be. If you think of the like Star Wars type spacecraft. So what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do is, because I'm just going to work on one side for the moment, because it means I can do a lot more work without, you know, having to worry so much about making sure it's accurate on the other side. And I can literally just kind of go mad with anything. You just mess around and see what you might think works. Always good to do some kind of greeblies on at the ends of stuff, because it looks like they're reinforced. Again, we can reinforce this reinforced bit by I mean, these are probably too much, but I'm just kind of having fun as well, really. Just more reinforcements. So let's say we're happy enough with the foot for the moment, this side. I'm going to do something else for no other reason. Maybe there's some kind of weird pulley system or thing that allows it to move in some way. So we'll just add, and we'll get some negative space. Oh no, we'll make a kind of a breathing hole. An exhaust for the hydraulics. And I'll just Boolean that, so that's part of the. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to. What's probably the best way to do this? Okay, I'm going to select these rectangles. I'm going to get my knife and I'm just going to cut them all off. Then I'm going to select everything. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to mirror it, or flip horizontal. And then I'm going to hold shift, so we should get dope. Sorry, let me do that again. Sorry, I'm going to do that, but I forgot to take these bits here. So duplicate it, flip it horizontal, move it back holding shift. And that will give me our fairly complex looking foot. So I'm happy enough with this foot for the moment. I'm going to make it all one shape. Bang. even though it's horrendously complex. I'm going to just put another bit up here, and I will just do this. Yeah. And we'll, oops, I'm going to again make this one object because I just added that, and I'm going to bring the foot down here, and I'm just going to duplicate that across, so it's something like this. Yeah, and now we have, I mean, we can also do it here, but bring it down if we wanted. That'll give us a kind of a tripod effect. So I might do that later, but for now I kind of want to work on these kind of bits by just adding some extra details. Same kind of, I'll just do this quickly. We'll do something similar here. Just add more, a few more greeblies wherever. No rhyme, no reason, just to add more to it. So let's remove him for now, and we'll take this, and we'll take all of this actually. That's my dog in the background. Don't know if you can hear him. I'm going to make these one shape, excluding the main foot, and I'm going to get the knife tool. I'm just going to do a kind of a cut here like this. Do it here as well. Just again, I just want to make the structure a little bit more interesting, or try to. And again, we'll get the corner tool here and we'll bend these a bit, flatten those a bit so they won't be so harsh. And we'll do the same here because it is, I've still got the corner tool selected. That's my dog licking in the background. I do apologize. Add a few more. Get roughly, oops. Hold down command, oops, down. Dog, stop licking. I'm trying to draw. I don't think he's going to listen to me. Right, so lastly, I think we'll do some kind of negative space here, I think. Gonna color it so it's just a little bit easier to see the angle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's get rid of it now, bang. And that's left quite a big chunk out of it, so I'll just make another part here, color it black. Oops. Ugh. And again, no rhyme, no reason. I'm just making extra details. And I can, of course, if I want extra details, I can just bring it out like this. Try and match it. Yeah, so that's looking good-ish. Let's do some kind of hatch-looking thing by using a round rectangle. And I think I'd like to use that shape again. And I think we'll do two. Well, we'll do. I wonder. Just trying something. Yeah. Corner tool to round that off. And here as well. So now we have. I think that'll do. I think. So now we have our completed foot. I'm going to group that, and I'm just going to pop it on like this. Let's get rid of all that. Let's do something like this, and now we have our massive piece of artillery. So yeah, I'd probably leave it there for now. Yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be realistic. If it probably is a bit too greebled, but anyway, it gives you an idea of another type of workflow you can use. Anyway, so that's it for this rather long tutorial. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you do, please let me know. If you have any other ideas for tutorials or anything you want to see, let me know. Actually, at some point I would like to redo this and make it like an actual artillery piece with a wheel as I intended, and maybe not have it so detailed. But anyway, hopefully you've got something out of it anyway. All right, thank you and take care.